forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown.
According to these crime records obtained tonight by the I-Team, Huey killed the children because the kids were better off dead than alive without parents. Huey, who owned a fledgling security company, was a suspect from the beginning because authorities quickly found a months-long trail of text messages and emails written and sent to the victims by his fiancée, Ermelinda Palomo, who had engineered the plot as a drug cartel hit, apparently an effort to fool even her fiancé into carrying out the killings.
On a well-being check. Palomo's phone and Find My Phone app were shut off Tuesday night, and that's when her concerned family reported her in danger and missing.
We know without a shadow of a doubt that at the time of the murders in Romeoville, Ermelinda was home sleeping. The family wants to make it clear that Ermelinda had nothing to do with the murders.
They say it started in a garden long ago with a single decision that changed everything. A moment of temptation that led to betrayal and shattered trust. The story echoes through time, but its lessons feel as relevant now more than ever. In a small town ironically named Romeoville, Illinois, a place where life probably feels untouched by the chaos of the outside world, a simp situation would change everything. Having all the sounds of an ancient tale, but this was far from a myth. Beneath Romeoville's quiet streets and friendly neighborhoods, desire, manipulation, and murder was brewing. A family living an ordinary life will become victims of a plan rooted in jealousy and deception.
Do you want to search the car? And then someone said to him, there are messages from you, and it's because her husband found out you were having an affair. And I didn't know that.
You didn't know what?
That he was having an affair.
Okay. When did you find that out? Right now?
Right now.
Okay. When's the last time that he had an affair?
This one, the local.
Oh God. Dogs are dead. 2 dead dogs.
I need more units here. Hold this.
350.
I got 2 dead dogs. TV's knocked over and a cocktail knocked over in the front room. Tonight we are learning more about a family of 4 murdered in a southwest suburban home. Police are still searching for their killer.
CBS 2's Maribel Gonzalez is live on the scene in southwest suburban Romeoville. Maribel.
Yeah, Joe and Erica, the details of what happened inside this home very much still a mystery, much like what the family was to the neighbors here. They tell us they largely kept to themselves, didn't come out very much, but when they did, it was only briefly. Inside this home is where 38-year-old Alberto Rolón, 32-year-old Zoraida Bartolomé, 2 children, and 3 of their dogs were found shot and killed.
Kind of unsettling for the block.
Police found their bodies Sunday morning following a wellness check after one of the victims failed to show up to work. They believe the shootings happened sometime between 9 p.m. Saturday and 5 a.m. Sunday.
We didn't know what was going on even when everything started happening.
Carol Loves lives next door. She was home during the time of the shootings, but says she, like many people on the block, didn't hear anything at all, despite only living a few feet away.
None of the neighbors really knew, and the officers couldn't, of course, tell us anything at that point.
We hear the gunshots from the shooting range 2 miles away. We can hear those nonstop.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
But not this, no.
Neighbors telling us the family moved in around springtime. They knew very little about them and saw them out only from time to time.
He was very concerned about not bothering his neighbors. Very kept to themselves.
Monday evening, only the sound of the house being boarded up and the quiet prayers of neighbors who are still shocked
I don't feel safe right now.
and terrified about what happened, especially as police have yet to announce an arrest.
We just hope they find him.
Now, at a press conference earlier today, the police has said they don't believe the shooter is among the victims, but they would not say if they've identified any suspects or motives behind this, only telling us they're still investigating. Reporting live in Romeoville, Maribel Gonzalez, CBS 2 News. Joe?
We also know that Palomo's family believes she, with no criminal history, was also a victim.
She communicated with members of her family, telling them such things as, "I love you, take care of my grandbabies."
In fact, the attorney shed light on a dark series of events that happened after the family of 4 and their 3 dogs were found shot to death in Romeoville on Sunday morning by police on a well-being check. Palomo's phone and Find My Phone app were shut off Tuesday night, and that's when her concerned family reported her in danger and missing.
We know without a shadow of a doubt that at the time of the murders in Romeoville, Ermelinda was home sleeping. The family wants to make it clear that Ermelinda had nothing to do with the murders in Romeoville.
Oklahoma police explain both Huey and Palomo were involved in a crash and shooting inside their car in Catoosa, Oklahoma on Wednesday. They were caught thanks to a flock license plate reader at a nearby shopping center. The police chief tells us it was critical because cameras aren't allowed on throughways.
Desperate people do desperate things. So with the flock camera system, we knew who we were dealing with.
It ended with the duo being chased, a fiery crash, and police hearing 2 gunshots. Huey was pronounced. Palomo died soon after.
They have ruled her death a homicide from a gunshot wound to the head. Ermelinda is a mother of 5, grandmother of 5.
Police say there is evidence pointing to a connection between the suspect and victims and a possible motive, but declined to elaborate. In Streamwood, Natalie Martinez, NBC5 News.
Misery and mystery marked this unfathomable murder case in September 2023. A family of 4 and their dogs executed at gunpoint in the dead of night. Months ago, the I-Team filed public records requests. Tonight, we've obtained a full complement of documents and videos from Romeoville authorities, revealing a tangled killing plot, a fatal attraction love affair that brought down this family. Police files reveal a suburban couple killed the family to stop an illicit romance. He was the shooter, but tonight we've learned she was the mastermind, building an elaborate plot to make it appear a drug cartel hit.
Got it.
Police body cam video as officers make a Sunday well-being check on a Romeoville family that hadn't been heard from. The explanation quickly apparent. Alberto Rolone, Zoraida Bartolome, and their boys, 9-year-old Adriel and 7-year-old Diego, all shot to death, along with the 3 family dogs. Tonight, hundreds of pages of police records reveal that the family was wiped out by 9mm triggerman Nathaniel Huey Jr., a former security guard who was involved in a love affair with the married Bartolome. And police reports state that this woman, Huey's fiancée, Ermelinda Palomo, had posed as a drug cartel operative, texting orders to the apparently gullible Huey to execute the family for the cartel. She drove him to the murder scene, and a day later, police tracked the couple and questioned them.
We're trying to figure out what happened at that house.
You wouldn't be covering for Nate at all?
No, he was here. Even my daughter said he was here.
Do you think he's capable of taking someone's life?
No.
But without solid evidence, they are released and leave town. 2 days later, now both solid suspects, the couple is sighted in Oklahoma, where a police chase ends in a fiery crash, Huey shooting his fiancée to death and killing himself.
This brings evil to a whole new level.
ABC7 police affairs consultant and former suburban police chief Bill Kushner tonight says he's never seen a murder case so complicated and convoluted.
She started this based on the report
to keep him faithful in his infidelity to her. It grew into the drug cartel story and multiple pinger phone numbers and text messages, and she really wove quite a web of deception.
I mean, you're telling us there's no threats.
Police video showing Huey being questioned shortly after the killings about text threats that had started months before the family's execution. Warnings they would be killed if the illicit affair didn't stop. Less than 2 weeks before the killings, this blunt text to Alberto Rolone. "This will be the last I say of this, Alberto. This stupid girl will be the reason you have no children." Despite many red flags, police records do not indicate the family ever reported to authorities they were being threatened with death. And it wasn't just the family. Zoraida Bartolome had confided with a co-worker about the threats her husband had received, and that co-worker apparently never reported anything to authorities. The killers fled Chicago for Oklahoma, only to die in a murder-suicide. The full story going up in flames. The I-Team obtained Romeoville police records and recordings after a Freedom of Information filing under Illinois state law. But police officials there have not agreed to our invitation for a TV interview to provide some context to the case, files, and answer questions, and about how the investigation was closed. Perhaps more importantly, whether all those red flags might be brought to their attention the next time, which of course we hope will never occur.
Now, if this here ain't some modern day Adam and Eve shit, I don't know what is. And it really makes me think how scared bro had to be to receive random text messages one day and then 3 days later, he's mass murdering a whole family and they 3 dogs. Now, in today's society, we all know the glamorization that they have, especially in the male society with Krugers. But this is going to be the other side of that story that covers a guy by the name of Nathaniel Huey Jr., who was 32 and happened to be in a relationship with a female by the name of Irma Linda Palomo, who was 50 years old. And it's not that this story particularly focuses on their age, but I definitely think it plays a little bit of a part in the story. Now, at some time, Nathaniel Huey Jr., while working at an engineering company in Glendale Heights, Arizona, would meet a 38-year-old married female by the name of Zoraida Bartolome. It's not mentioned how long the two would work together, but like a lot of situations involving cheating, where people would spend hours on a day working side by side with people, they would develop some kind of romantic situation. And sometime during the course of their undercover relationship, Zoraida Bartolome's husband would uncover the relationship, and that would lead to him vandalizing Nathaniel Huey Jr.'s vehicle. It sounded something like he might have slashed the tires and right in around the same time. And probably because your tires were slashed coming out the door one day, Irma Linda Palomo, Nathaniel Huey Jr.'s 50-year-old girlfriend, would also uncover the relationship. And documents would state not long after that discovery, on September the 14th, 2013, she would begin to create fake pinger or text accounts where she would begin sending threatening text messages to not only her boyfriend, Nathaniel Huey Jr., but also to Zoraida Bartolome's husband. Now, in these specific text messages that she would send, she would pose as a member of a Mexican drug cartel as well as a Bulgarian crime syndicate. Now, I'm not quite sure of the exact detail of the text, besides the fact that she would text to Zoraida Bartolome's husband that the affair that she was having put her entire family, including him and his children, in danger. But specifically to her boyfriend, Nathaniel Huey Jr., using the disguise of the cartel or the crime syndicate, she would somehow convince him that the woman that he was having the affair with was a mole working against him. How and for what? Not long after that, Irma Linda Palomo and Huey would begin exchanging text messages about how to plot mass murder. The text messages would talk about the layout of the home. It would talk about how many members was in the home, including Bartholomew, her husband, Alberto Rolón, and their 2 children, Adriel, 9 years old, and Diego, 7 years old, as well as the family's multiple dogs. After that text message exchange, it would be just a few days on September 16th, not long after 3 a.m., when Nathaniel Huey Jr., driven by his girlfriend, would arrive to Zoraida Bartholomew's residence in Romeoville, Illinois. Entering the home with a 9mm handgun, he would proceed to kill Alberto Rolón first, who probably would confront him like a typical situation like this, or even a scary movie where they would hear a noise and the male was the first to go check that out. After killing Alberto Rolón, he would proceed to kill his lover, Zoraida Bartholomew, as well as her 2 children and the family's dogs. The very next day, on September 17th, after a welfare check, the family and the bodies would be discovered by Romeoville police, leading the authorities to question the couple the very next day and them fleeing Illinois just 2 days later on September 20th. They would make it all the way to Catoosa, Oklahoma, before their license plate would be spotted leaving a Walmart, eventually leading to a police chase. It would be during this police chase where Nathaniel Huey Jr., who probably up until this time was still in the blender and didn't completely know what was going on, would shoot Ermelinda Palomo before turning the gun on himself. And in the conclusion of the story, like most, after summing up everything, you try to figure out who's most to blame. And as the man, I'm first going to say Nathaniel Huey Jr., even though he was manipulated. And it brings me back to one of my old rules that I don't know if I heard or I just made up, that says, don't play the game if you don't know the rules. And they're going to have some that jump to blame Ermelinda Palomo, which she definitely has a lot of blame in this situation. But after the police reports of how he was a habitual cheater, he had her ass in the blender at the same time. And shit, they might have some people that want to give some blame to Zoraida Bartholomew because she was the one married in a situation. But it's a lot of parallels to look at. You could look at Ermelinda Palomo was dating the dude 20 years younger than her, or you could definitely look at how crazy Nathaniel Huey Jr. and Ermelinda Palomo had each other, with her so far gone enough to orchestrate a plot that includes the cartel and her boyfriend committing multiple murders, or Huey Jr. for receiving random text messages and believing it. But y'all definitely let me know y'all think and y'all take on this situation, because it's definitely a wild one. And absolutely make sure y'all tap in and hit that red bell and subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trail spill shit is dropping. Y'all definitely hit this comment box and let me know y'all craziest side chick or side dude situation. Y'all let me know what cities we need to hit next, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. Y'all tapping with me directly. Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until the next play, y'all know how we rockin'. Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty mob.